Okay, so it's time for us to officially sit down and talk about Batman the Long Halloween. One of the best stories of all time when it comes to Batman comics. Now, here's the thing, because my goal is to cover everything Jeff Loeb and Tim Sales did together when it came to Batman comics. We already covered the Halloween specials that came out prior to this story right here, but we're now going to officially dive into Batman the Long Halloween. Now, here's the thing, because this is a very long story, so we're going to have multiple videos, but my goal is to release all the videos in 1 week. So hopefully we are able to accomplish that goal. But this story is truly amazing. Matter of fact, it's well known as one of the best Batman comics of all time. So getting into the opening pages of the storyline, we're picking up with Bruce Wayne having a meeting with Carmine Falcone. You see, when it came to the early days of Bruce Wayne being Batman, it wasn't just him dealing with the Arkham inmates like Scarecrow, Joker, or the Riddler. It was also him dealing with crime families across Gotham City. Now, the Falcones, they were the biggest. But here's the thing, because for Falcone, Carmine Falcone, he just got word of the possibility of his imports might be able to work with the bank. Here's the thing. Every single member of the board has to vote yes on it. Not all of them, but most of the votes have to be yes to allow the banks to work with his import company. And so he was kind of hoping that Bruce Wayne would also say yes. Now, for Bruce, he already knows that Carmine is a criminal. And so you have Bruce basically tell him no. Now, this meeting is taking place at a very special event for the Falcone family. You see, for Carmine Falcone, his nephew Johnny is getting married. So, of course, you have all these different people there right now, just there for the big celebration. Now, for Carmine Falcone, he's kind of upset about the idea that Bruce will not vote in his favor, but you do have Bruce still listening in the conversation outside the office of Carmine Falcone. Now, while you have Bruce trying his best to listen in, you do have Alberto Falcone walk up behind him. Now, Alberto is the son of Carmine Falcone. And so we're kind of getting the chance to meet all the different family members of this crime family. Now, for Bruce Wayne, he wants to go ahead and leave the party, but while trying to leave, he runs into Selina Kyle. And of course, you do have Bruce Wayne just stop in his tracks, because by the first time he met this woman, he was already falling in love with her. Something about her just pulls him in. And so you do have Selina say, hey, you know what, Bruce? Do you mind dancing with me? And of course, for Bruce Wayne, he can't say no. Now, while you have the two characters dancing with one another, you do have different members of the Falcone family see Bruce Wayne and want to know more about him. Now, back in the office for Falcone, you have Falcone kind of warn his son Alberto, like, hey, listen, you see my sister down there, Carla? If anything happens to me, just know that most likely it was Carla. Now, here's the thing, because Carla is not really working in Gotham. She's working in Chicago, trying to spread this Carmine Falcone empire. Now, you do have someone inform Falcone they may have a small problem right now in the parking garage, and that will be Harvey Dent. Now, another reason why people truly do love the Long Halloween, because it's also the early days of Harvey Dent in the world of DC Comics. Now, for Harvey Dent, he is the district attorney, but his main goal right now is to write down all the license plate numbers to kind of get more information about the Falcone family. Because for Harvey Dent, his main mission in this entire storyline is to find a way to bring down Carmine Falcone. Now, because they saw him on security cameras, you do have a few guys come up from behind and beat him down. But after taking that beating, he does run into Bruce Wayne. Now, for Harvey Dent, he does know Bruce Wayne very well, because Bruce did somewhat help out when it came to Harvey Dent becoming the district attorney for Gotham City. But the thing is, you still kind of have Harvey Dent look at Bruce Wayne as not somebody who is a regular person, who does not fully understand what's going on for regular day folks. Now, for Selena, she was kind of hoping to go home with Bruce Wayne, but for Bruce, it's kind of like, hey, I gotta go. We already know why, because the dude gotta go be Batman. Now, another character who does play a major role in the storyline would be Jim Gordon. Now, here's the thing, because for Jim, his main goal right now is just go home. His wife is waiting for him. His family is waiting for him. But you have Harvey Dent walk into his office. Now, for Jim, he can tell that there's something going on with Harvey. And the reason why, because, well, Harvey got the you-know-what kicked out of him, so he does look a tad bit banged up. But it's also Harvey informing Jim like, hey, listen, I was at the Falcone's wedding party, whatever, trying my best to figure out who were all those different people at the party to hopefully find a way or some kind of way to start attacking Falcone to bring him down, to bring him to justice. Now, this is Jim saying like, you're not really able to go up against Falcone like that, but I do know somebody who could possibly help us. Now, as we switch over to Bruce Wayne, it's Bruce Wayne now being Batman. Now, when it came to Bruce meeting earlier at Carmine, he saw a safe in there, and he knew he couldn't really access the safe as Bruce Wayne, but he can as Batman. But here's the thing, because when you do have Batman sneak into the office of Falcone, well, he runs into Catwoman, who's also trying to access the safe as well. Now, of course, you do have these two characters do battle against one another, but at the same time, these two characters do have some kind of attraction to one another. Now, while you do have the two characters fighting against each other, you do have some guys barge into the office and try their best to shoot down both Batman and also Catwoman. Now, luckily for our characters, they were able to get away. Now, because there were a bunch of gunshots in his office, you have Carmine run back to his office. Now, his guys does inform him like, hey, listen, it was Batman and it was also Catwoman, but they're now long gone. Now, here's the thing, because for Falcone, he also runs into his rival, better known as the Boss Maroni. Now, here's the thing, because for Falcone, he's right now not trying his best to sort of war between two crime families, but he does tell his guys to get the word out that he's right now putting a $1 million bounty for both Batman and also Catwoman. Now, as we transition back over to Batman and also Catwoman, it's the two characters right now just continuing to swing through the city. Now, for Batman, he wants answers. But of course, for Selena, she's not going to give Batman the answers that he is currently looking for. But you do have Selena being able to escape from Batman. Now, for Bruce, he does see the bat signal calling him. And so, of course, he now knows that he needs to meet up with Jim Gordon. Now, this meeting is pretty special because it's Batman, it's Harvey Dent, it's also Jim Gordon coming together to basically form an alliance to go after Carmine Falcone and his entire empire. And the thing is, each guy can do things differently when it comes to attacking Falcone. Where you have Jim Gordon being the police officer, you have Harvey Dent being the district attorney, you have Bruce Wayne being Batman. They all have their own different angles where they can attack Falcone and hopefully bring him down. Now, it will be a very long process, but they believe in one another. They believe they have the ability to actually do it. Now, right after you have Batman leave, we kind of find out that Bruce was able to get a hold of Falcone's ledger. Now, the next page, we jump forward in time and we pick up in July. Now, in July, this is Batman meeting with the boards for the Gotham City Bank. And of course, you had most of the members agree to vote with the idea of working with Falcone and of course his import company. Now for Bruce, he knows what it's all about, that Falcone wants to use the bank as a way to launder his money. But of course, Bruce got outvoted. But Bruce has a different way to change things around. See, you have Bruce go in as Batman and pay a special visit over to Richard Daniels' penthouse. Now, Richard Daniel is the president of the bank. And so, of course, it's Bruce saying like, hey, listen, I'm going to need you to not, and I mean again, not try to work with Falcone and his money. And so the following day, you had Richard resign as, of course, the bank president. But of course, now Bruce Wayne is now in charge. And so as we jump into August, we kind of get the idea that for Falcone, he's very upset about the idea of Richard resigning. And of course, now Bruce being in charge. And with Bruce now being in charge, of course, Falcone is no longer allowed to launder his money in the bank. Now, for Falcone, he wants to know where in the world is his nephew? Where is Johnny? Because he wants Johnny here now. Now, by September, you didn't have Johnny, the nephew of course, Falcone, go after Richard. And of course, he shoots Richard dead twice in the middle of the street as a way to say, this is payback for your idea of resigning, of hurting the Falcone family. But while that is happening, somebody else is gearing up to attack. We see somebody getting a gun. We see this person scratching off this serial number. We see this person putting on a baby bottle nipple on top to be a, silencer. Someone is planning to attack the Falcone family. But with the death of Richard, you now have Jim Gordon getting a call. And is Jim freaking out? But he also knows what he has to do. He also has to inform Harvey Dent. And so, of course, you do have Jim call over to the Dent's home. And of course, Harvey finds out. And so this right here kind of begins the whole idea of Harvey, Jim, and also Bruce, being Batman, trying their best to hopefully bring down the Falcone family. But while all that is happening, for Johnny, he does go home to his bathroom. He's trying to relax, take a nice bath. But the problem is that while you have Johnny trying to do that, the gunman we saw earlier was able to sneak into his bathroom and shoot him and kill him. And so just like that, there goes Johnny. But with the death of Johnny, words get out very quickly. And so now you have Harvey, Jim, and also Batman meeting up and kind of wondering like, who has the actual courage, the stones to whack Falcone's nephew? Like, it has to be another crime family coming after the Falcones. Now, why had the three guys meeting with one another? You didn't have Batman realize there's somebody watching him. And of course, that would be Selina Kyle, of course, being Catwoman. So you have Batman being able to get the jump on her. Now, for Selina, she was gone for a good while. And of course, the reason why, because there was a bounty on her head. But it's now her coming back to Batman saying like, hey, listen, I want to help you out. I have something you need to know about. But now it's Halloween. And with it being Halloween, we pick up with Batman and also Harvey Dent. And the two guys, they do sneak into this warehouse. This warehouse belongs to Falcone. Now remember, with Bruce Wayne now being in charge of the bank, technically now for Falcone, he's no longer able to move his money. And so, of course, in this warehouse, you have all the money that Falcone wanted to launder. But you do have Harvey Dent and Batman go ahead and burn the entire stack of money. But to close on the first chapter of this storyline is Harvey Dent now just coming home for the night, wanting to spend time with his wife, help passing out candy to all the different trick-or-treaters. The problem is that he doesn't realize he's being watched. He's being followed. And so when it comes to Harvey Dent, when he goes inside, we see his house explode, leaving us wondering, is Harvey Dent dead? Is his wife also dead as well? Now, something else I should have probably mentioned is that each issue does take place on a different holiday. So, for example, the first issue at the very end of that storyline or that chapter, it took place on Halloween. This one, issue number 2, it takes place on, of course, Thanksgiving. Now, we pick up with Batman and James Gordon right now, basically interrogating a guy known as Minky. Now, here's the thing, because this guy, Minky, runs an entire operation known as the Irish. There's a few other boys with him like Donnie Boy, Jimmy Slick, Dapper Kevin, and like Willie Two Times. Very interesting names. But for Batman and also Jim Gordon, they're trying to tell us and Mickey here that basically Harvey Dent is dead. Now, for Batman, he was only able to find Mickey because the nail used in the bombs, because every nail has some kind of serial number. And so you have Batman find out where the nail came from, found the receipts that led over to Mickey. Either way, it's Batman and Jim saying, like, we know that you are the one who had basically killed off Harvey Dent. So this is where you have Mickey go ahead and confess. Now, while he is confessing to Jim Gordon about what he did, it's also him telling how Batman found him and how Batman basically had to chase him down. Now, when it comes to this flashback of us seeing Batman trying to chase down Mickey here, we see Mickey go into the sewers. Batman does follow him. Now, here's the thing, because there is a character who lives down there, and that would be Solomon Grundy. Now, for Solomon Grundy, even though he's a very cool character, and one day I would love the idea of us just sitting down to learn more about this character, right now, he does not really play a major role in this chapter. But for Batman, he has no choice but to go ahead and fight against Solomon Grundy. And the reason why, because, well, Batman and Mickey here had entered his territory. And for Solomon Grundy, he just wanted to be left alone. But either way, you do have Batman take out Solomon, grab Mickey, and then, of course, he headed over to the office of Jim Gordon. Now, here's the thing about Mickey's confession. Like, it is Mickey saying, like, he is the one who had killed off Harvey Dent. But it's also Mickey kind of saying, like, hey, you know, I'll be honest here, though. Even though I did kill off Harvey Dent, who killed off Johnny? Now, this is Mickey trying to apply that it was Harvey Dent who killed off Johnny in the last chapter as a way to get at Falcone. Now, you also have Mickey also kind of saying, like, you know, I'm not going to tell you who ran the entire operation. And so you do have Mickey get taken away to join the rest of his boys. Now, for Jim Gordon, he's kind of wondering, like, could there be a possibility that it was Harvey Dent who had killed off, you know, Johnny in the last chapter? Now, for Batman, he's trying his best to not believe that factor. But the thing is, for Batman, he still has to wonder if there is a possibility that Harvey actually did it. Now, for Falcone, it's him right now just trying to celebrate Thanksgiving, trying to have some time with his family. Now, his sister Carla is very upset because Johnny was her son. Johnny is dead. She lost her only son. And so she wants to know, is Carmine actually trying to handle things? And you have him say, listen, Carla, I got it handled. Like, give me some time. Don't worry. I got it handled. And matter of fact, don't ask me again because I do not like repeating myself. Now, as we switch back over to Mickey, is him entering his prison cell. Now, when he does, is him trying to go over the plan with the rest of his gang. Now, his gang, they're kind of like, hey, listen, Mickey, we know what we got to do. We're in this together. And so then we see each member of Mickey's gang confess to the crime they all had committed together when it came to going after Harvey Dent, what their part was in that crime. Now, by the end of all the confessions, you didn't have Batman say, I want to talk to Mickey once again. And the reason why you had Batman wanting to talk to Mickey, because we learn here that this Mickey is the fake one. You see, there was a point where you had the real Mickey get switched out with the fake one, and his fake one is Harvey Dent pretending to be Mickey. And the reason why, because for Harvey Dent, Jim, and also Batman, they were kind of hoping with Harvey pretending to be Mickey, when he entered that cell, he will hopefully be able to collect some type of information that it was Falcone who sent those guys after Harvey Dent as a way to bring down Falcone. But every single person of Mickey's gang basically did not confess it was Falcone. And so for Harvey, that right there ruins their entire operation. And so he can no longer pretend that he is dead, which also means he can no longer charge Mickey and his gang with murder charges. Now for Jim, he's kind of like, okay, yeah, we can't charge them for murder, but we can charge them for attempted murder. Now for Harvey, he's kind of like, even if we do that, they'll make bail in 1 hour. So technically, we're doing that for nothing. But you still have Harvey go ahead and do it. And so on the next page, you have Batman tell us that technically, Harvey was wrong. They made bail less than an hour. Now, on top of that, when it comes to Harvey Dent, he has to spend Thanksgiving in the hospital because when that bomb went off, it injured his wife. Now, for Jim Gordon, he gets home too late. And so when he does get home, unfortunately, he has to have dinner by himself. And for Batman, he makes sure to leave a plate for Solomon Grundy as well. And to close on this chapter right here, we do pick up with Mickey and his gang, who's currently just in their hotel, private room, whatever, trying to have a good Thanksgiving dinner, but to also be thankful for Falcone getting them out of prison. They're trying to celebrate. But then, as the chapter closes, our mysterious killer finds the gang and kills them all off. Just like that. So we're left again to wonder, who is this mysterious killer? But as we dive into the third chapter, we're now picking up with the Joker. Now, this is the Joker right now, just reading the newspaper. Oh, by the way, the third issue, it takes place on Christmas Day. But either way, for the Joker, it's him reading the newspaper. And he gets upset because he realized this serial killer that killed on Halloween and also Thanksgiving is now getting the attention of the entire city. The people of the city is now calling him Holiday. Now we do see here the Joker had attacked his family and stole all their Christmas, presents, decorations, and left them basically almost with nothing. But now it's the Joker going on the hunt for this serial killer as well. Now, as we switch over to Batman and also Jim Gordon, it's the two characters right now just heading over to Arkham Asylum. Now, before the two characters meet up with a certain inmate, it's Jim also informing Batman the Joker had escaped. Now, technically, Batman already knows, but here's the thing. For Jim Gordon, he's trying to point out that when it comes to Gotham City, after Batman had appeared, you did have more of these inmates just pop up left and right. Joker, Riddler, Scarecrow, and the list goes on and on. Is Jim kind of pointing out the fact that maybe, just maybe, Batman's the reason why all of these crazies are arriving into Gotham City. But we do learn here that you have Batman and also Jim Gordon paying a visit over to the Calendar Man. Now, I do know for some fans out there, when it comes to the Calendar Man, they love this guy a lot. Like, you have some fans out there who believe this is a very interesting character. But for the Calendar Man, he basically does different crimes on special days. So, for example, it's not just him doing things on holidays. It could be what to us a regular day, but to him, it's a special day somewhere else across the world or for somebody else. All his crimes are committed based on something happening in the past when it comes to dates. Either way, it's Jim Gordon and also Batman wondering if the Calendar Man could possibly help them figure out who the killer is. Now, you have Calendar Man say, like, listen, I believe it's a woman, but it's also a man as well. Now, this hint right here is technically very important for the rest of this storyline. But for Batman, he now wants to shift his focus to find the Joker. But now we had to switch over to Maroni. Now, Mr. Maroni is, again, the rival to Carmine Falcone. But here's the thing, because while you have Maroni and his bodyguard having a conversation with one another, his bodyguard begins to laugh. And of course, that tells us the Joker got to him. Now, once the bodyguard passes out, you didn't have the Joker appear. And when the Joker appears, he's kind of like, hey, listen, so I believe that you are the holiday killer. Because you are Carmine Falcone's rival. Like, you are the second best mobster in this city. If Falcone goes away, then most likely you'll take his spot. Now, for Maroni, he's trying his best to tell the Joker, like, listen, it's not me. And here is the reason why. This whole holiday mess is not just messing with Falcone, it's also messing with everyone's operations. And so for Joker, he's kind of like, okay, if it's not Maroni as a holiday killer, then who is it? Now, for Batman, he also pays Maroni a visit as well after you have the Joker leave. Now, for Batman, he just wants some answers. But you do have Maroni tell Batman, like, hey, the Joker was here. Now, for Batman, he's wondering, what is the Joker connection to the holiday killer? Not knowing the Joker is going after the holiday killer because, well, this other killer is getting all the attention at the moment. But when it comes to Maroni, he said the same thing that Jim said earlier. All these different crazy villains had started popping out of nowhere ever since you had arrived in Gotham. It's the whole concept that Batman is the reason why Gotham is getting worse and worse. Now we switch over to Harvey Dent, and we see that Harvey Dent and also his wife have gotten a brand new home because, well, the last house got blown up completely. Now, we also learn here that for Harvey's wife, she wants to have children, and she's been asking Harvey to try again for a good while. And so she believes with a brand new house, maybe, just maybe, they can once again start trying to have a child. Now, you do have her go upstairs because Harvey realized they have a visitor. That visitor is no other than, well, the Joker. Now, this is the Joker believing that Harvey is the holiday killer. Now, of course, you have Harvey once again say, like, it's not me. I am not the holiday killer. But here's the thing. For the Joker, he hates the idea there are two maniacs in Gotham City, that this city is only big enough for one maniac like him. And so it's the Joker saying, if I find out that you were lying to me, that you are the holiday killer, the next time I come by here, I'm going to make sure I kill you off. But this kind of leads us into the ending for this third chapter, where we do pick up with the Joker paying a visit to Falcone, telling Falcone, like, hey, I'm going to need you to do your job. I'm going to need you to figure out who is this holiday killer. Now, right after that, while he's trying to leave, Falcone has sent his bodyguard to go after the Joker. The Joker gets away. But right after you have the Joker leave, that is when you have, well, the assassin reappear. And the assassin, this time, kills off the bodyguard to Carmine Falcone. And so just like that, 3 holidays in a row, you have someone attacking the Falcone Empire. Now, Batman does arrive. The problem is that when he does arrive, all he finds is just the Joker cards left behind. And so it's Batman kind of wondering in the possibility, could the Joker be the holiday killer? Or is there 2 killers out there now he has to focus on? But this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see you next time. Later.